Peace, 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 fam. This is Oracle Deborah with the Deborah podcast on YouTube. Happy Sunday. And literally, it is Sunday. How y'all doing today? Sure, y'all chilling because there's no football today. And there might be a little football. I don't know. But the big day is next week. So I know we are gearing up and getting excited for that. So let's see. Yes, I felt a little jazz to play in the background. I'm not as big of a jazz fan as I used to be, but I thought this music would do. It had a little bass in it. I don't know. Zoom has a lot of selections, but not a lot of selections, if you know what I mean. Music. Anyway, anywho, as they say. I just wanted to get on very quickly. I uploaded a ton of stuff yesterday. I'm very excited about. Please check out the first chapter of the Kabbalion. I've uploaded that. Along with some other things about the energy for this month of February, which is quite interesting. And I finally uploaded my piece from last week. So today, I thought we would chill a little bit. Yes, I've been keeping up with the news about everything that's going on. They're getting more updates in terms of the plane crashes. And it's, as always, looking a little suspect, in terms of particularly the one in DC, how that happened. You can have a senior person flying this Black Hawk and flying above where they're supposed to be. And the person who was responding to the control tower, I guess was a control pilot or one of the other gentlemen that was in the Black Hawk, but not the person controlling the Black Hawk. I think they called the Pat 25 or something like that. Anyway, so we're getting more updates about that. And as well as in Philly, that medical jet that came down like a friggin' missile. 22 people hurt, 7 people confirmed dead. That was 6 inside of the medical jet, plane, copter, whatever you want to call it. And then 1 person was on the ground, in their car, and they lost their life. So again, condolences to everyone out there. Just strength to the families and to the residents. They're all having to contend with all the carnage from that disaster. So, but like I said, there was 22 people hurt. I think a little boy was in there as well. And the houses that caught fire as a result of it, it had a 4 to 6 block radius. So just not good at all. I'm trying to, I want to bring you something, I don't know, maybe something funny. I've been watching a lot of the Gilly the Kid. He's hilarious, but he has an incredible voice. Like, his voice is amazing. But I think he was in rap, or he was signed with a group out in New Orleans or something like that. So maybe that's where the voice comes from. He has an amazing voice. And let's see. So there's that. There's Trump, who acknowledged that the 14th Amendment refers to children of slaves here in America. So that that pretty much clarifies like who it doesn't, the 14th Amendment belongs to. As a matter of fact, I pulled up, sorry about that. I pulled up from, let's see, Cornell Law School. They have you can get this anywhere. But the Amendment 14, the 14th Amendment has multiple sections. In the first section, it talks about all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. And just so that you can see what I'm looking at, let me do this. Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. So this is what I'm looking at. This section right here, so that you can see for yourself. And the other sections, they touch on different things. Like you see here, the representatives are proportioned to several states according to their respective numbers, yada, yada, yada. So, but this is what Donald Trump was referring to, this section right here, section 1. And the Democrats or politicians in general have perversed this section to include any and everybody under the sun, which doesn't make sense. And I don't know how they got away with it. And I don't know how they have been getting away with it for so long. You would think with all the attorneys we have in this country, all of the courts, judges, the Supreme Court, how in the world did they allow this? You know? And, the immigrants are pushing back. You are here illegally and you're pushing back. Like, I don't understand their concept other than privilege. Well, I'm privileged. I'm supposed to be here. I don't know what this is. Americans cannot go to other countries and pull the stunts, do the things we do here over there. As Brittany Griner's case and other cases like journalists and things like that who are still stuck in prisons in Russia, or they get in trouble in Dubai, or different Asian countries, wherever. Like, you cannot just walk up in there and decide, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to come here, I'm going to be here, and illegally, and stay, and I dare you to. Like, who does that? And like, who allows that? Is the other question that comes up for me. And I just think the Democrats have really perversed this 14th Amendment. I thought this was an extreme view of the Democrats. I thought it was just, I don't know. Maybe just an extreme sense of something or other, propaganda a little bit maybe, but honestly, I don't see it that way anymore. And what I'm talking about is, I've heard, people refer to the far left as anti-American, and now I see why. I mean, look how busy ICE is. Look how many people they are bringing in, gathering up. And you mean to tell me they're only in phase one with like people who have broken the law? They're here illegally, they've broken the law, they're criminals, gang members, etc. And all these people they are gathering, they're finding, they're bringing them in, they're pulling them off the streets of America. And Democrats could have been doing something. And when you starve someone for so long, yeah, we're tired of the breadcrumbs, but at that point, even a crumb is something. You're doing nothing and justifying it, justifying every move and decision that you're making regarding people who have been here, whose ancestors were already here, who helped build this country, who died, who were perverted in various sexual ways, who were, tortured, burned, drowned, whatever, hunted down like animals, like a dog. And then you continually just harass us. For centuries, you just harassed us. And then you gaslight us on top of all that and use people that look like us to double down on your message. This is perverse. It really is. It's perverse. And I just don't know how in the world no one, I don't mean no one, because clearly our people have always been talking about this. We live it, right? Anyone in the justice system could not speak up, or could they speak up without, getting deleted? Look at this young woman that was on the flight, I think it's 5382, that was in the terrible collision with the Black Hawk last Wednesday. Her name is Kia Duggins. She is a former Miss Kansas. Let me see, because I actually posted about her today. See, she is, yes, a former Miss Kansas contestant. She is a Howard University. She's passed tense. She died along with the others in that collision. So she was a former Miss Kansas contestant, a former Howard University professor, and a civil rights attorney. And someone showed a clip earlier today of her being on some sort of Zoom call with two other men, and you should have saw the face of this man when she was talking about the peer review of how XYZ wasn't going well and wasn't done right, and how there was proof. She mentioned something about the Bell system or something, about how this system actually worked and it decreased crime and it was very effective, and there's peer review on it. And this guy just dropped his head like she was not supposed to say that. So people are looking side-eye about her mysteriously being on this flight as well, on this passenger flight. So there's that. So, I just don't know. I don't know. Yes, I am grateful. I've been saying this for over a year now, how grateful I would be, or how grateful I had been to see you know, some of the things play out with Pluto and Aquarius, information coming out, truth coming out, um, things being exposed, you know, a light being shown on um, areas that have been intentionally hidden. So things that were hidden are now being brought to light. All of these things. Now, Pluto and Aquarius is also bringing about a lot of other things I don't like. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, I talked about car accidents. Now we're seeing plane crashes, fire, a lot of fire. So one of the brother water god I've talked to you about to him before, he was like, where is all this symbolism? We got the fires in California, we got the fires from these plane crashes. And these two plane crashes aren't the only ones. There have been quite a few other plane crashes. In one case, or in a couple of cases, where the pilot ejected because they just felt like they didn't know what the plane was doing, you know, or a helicopter or whatever it was they were doing, and they ejected, they got out. I wish I remember where this link was that I saw. I think they're also trying to come up with a concept for passenger planes where they're detachable, so that if the plane starts to go down, if something happens, the part of the plane with the passengers would detach, and then there will be two, what would you call it? Oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Oh my gosh. You know, basically when you eject and you have the thingy strapped on your back. I can't think of the name of this darn thing. But it would have those on there, and it would land on land or water, and pretty much try to keep the passengers alive. So I think that concept, parachute, that's what I was thinking of. We have two parachutes on it. So, you know, there is a lot, you know, to be said about this Pluto and Aquarius energy. I've said before that Uranus is a partial ruler over Aquarius, and Uranus rules lightning, and lightning does create fire. So I don't know if that's where the fire piece is coming in at. Could be, you know, because you get struck by lightning, you're going to get burned. Okay. It will tear up some stuff. So I'm seeing maybe that portion of where the fire piece is coming in at. There's a lot to look into this, or to delve into it. Let me get out of here. Let me stop sharing here. And the part also let me go here first. I was going to share with you was, if you hadn't heard Trump's speech about this 14th Amendment. So I know I'm kind of getting all over the place, but that's pretty much it. So let me do that. Here, I think that's it. Let's share. Yeah, this is it. And you should be able to hear, because I'm pretty sure I chose. Let me go back. I want to make sure you can get the sound. Yep, so we're good with the sound. So this is Trump talking about this part of the 14th Amendment.
Very big designation. And as we are fighting hard to get birthright citizenship or automatic citizenship for the children of illegal aliens. That's another way. It's automatic citizenship for children of illegal aliens. That's the other term that they use, which is actually more accurate, more understandable. And it's ridiculous. We're the only country that has it, and certainly the only country that has it to that extent. And it wasn't meant, if you look, it was really meant for children of slaves. This is when it happened. The children of slaves, it was not meant for everyone to come into our country by airplane or charging across the borders from all over the world and think they're going to become citizens. It's not meant for that. It wasn't meant for that. And hopefully at some point the courts will understand that without having to go through a whole big deal. This was meant for the children of slaves. And look at the timing of it and you'll see. And I hope judges will understand that. And it has to stop because it's really hurting our country very badly in the coming weeks.
Did you know that one commercial real estate deal?
So stop share. So there you have it. And I'm gonna tell you, people didn't see that coming. I can tell you that right now. People did not see that coming. So along with this Uranus energy, expect the unexpected, this is what Trump is basically playing out as well. You know, there were strikes in Somalia against those they said that were threatening America. And they said they're not going to tolerate it. So there's that. You know, he talked about the borders, the tariffs, the borders. He did talk about the borders with Canada, Mexico, China. And he's been talking about the tariffs, so that was no big secret. He put that out there. But I don't think anyone knew he was actually going to follow through on the tariffs. And here we are, February 1. He said they go into effect, I believe Tuesday. So, you know, Canada is trying to save face and fighting back, and Mexico is trying to save face and fighting back. But as much as they think they're going to hurt us, they're going to be hurting. And Trudeau is in no place, in no position to be, trying to stand strong because he's already stepped down, and because he's not doing a great job, he's already stepped down. I guess he's trying to save face with, the Canadian people. But I mean, all leaders will always have a strong base. But yeah, I mean, so you're going to get a lot of that Uranian energy coming from the White House. Things that we did not expect. It's going to show up. That was one of them. People didn't expect Snoop Dogg to perform at one of Trump's events when he inauguration events for Bitcoin. No one expected him to do that based on his own words and his own actions in the past. And his response wasn't good, and so now people are doubling down with that. So who saw that coming, right? Snoop has been all over the place, making money everywhere. He was at the Olympics. He's all on TV with T-Mobile. He's just everywhere, and everywhere included this inauguration event, and he's being busted for it. So, in that respect, I'll just say this. I think her name was Chrisette Michelle. She basically got canceled after she performed for Trump in 2016. And that was wrong. And no one has really come out, and I don't know where she is now. You understand what I'm saying? So no one's come out and saying, hey, we were wrong about that. I mean, unless you feel like, no Black Americans should be performing for Trump, which I disagree with. I disagree with that. I'm with Nellie. I'm with Nellie on that one. You don't get to tell me how to vote. You don't get to tell me where to perform. You don't get to control, my pocket, kind of thing. And I mean, I wasn't always a fan of Trump. But I wasn't mad at this woman because she went and performed for him, you know. I wasn't mad at her. I wasn't. So, but I always knew in listening to him, I think it was the media that made things worse in 2016 for a lot of us because they were obsessed with him. Like he couldn't exhale without them reporting it and making it a big deal. And that just doubled down on everything. But I know as long as they kept him in the media and they kept him in the media, was the more we had to listen to him and the more I realized this dude is dropping bombs. I mean, not bombs, but gems. He's dropping gems. He knows stuff. I was like, shoot. It's not like I can ignore how he talks and what he's saying because he's dropping gems in the middle of all of that. So I realized that early on in 2016. I was just a little upset with him because, I was just starting out my business, and one of the things he rolled back um, had to do with FHA loans, and that was the crux of my business, and that was tough. That was tough for me. But I found a way somehow to connect with someone to start an IRA account, and that thing blew up the whole time he was in office. I mean, I was making all kinds of money. And then Democrats come back in office and I started losing all kind of money. So who do you think I'm going to roll with? The person who's going to be able to help me support myself economically, not the group that's going to come in and not just block me from pulling up my own bootstraps, but then taken away from what I set aside, right? Which is what the Democratic Party does. So anyway, I can absolutely expect to lose when they're in office. And they haven't changed. I saw that DNC interview or panel where they are interviewing, a new DNC leader, and it was a hot mess. If anyone hasn't seen it, it was just a hot mess. I don't know if I could find it or not. Let me see. It was bad. Let's see, DNC. Is this it? I think this is it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'm going to. Oh, this has got to be it. These people would not let them. Let me see if I can. I think this is it. I don't know if this is it or not. I mean, a woman got up there and the first thing she did was sing. And I was just like, are you kidding me? It was really just wild. And there were a lot of interruptions. I don't know if this one is it or not, but all the people that were on the panel, um, Simone's, what's her name? Is it Sanders? I don't know. I haven't had a chance to really review this, but this is definitely it. And I'll show you. I'll show you this much. So let's see. So yeah, this woman here, she gave her opening speech and she didn't speak. She sang a song, some sort of spiritual, which was pretty wild. But like I said, I haven't had a chance. They had a lot of interruptions from people, and it looks like I'm scrolling back to see if I can um, get a picture of Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where. Maybe this must be. Yeah. Let's see what this is.
Don't shake your head like that. You've
So
been on
yeah,
here for
this is
how
it.
long, Valley? How long? This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. When teachers, we don't hate the Democratic Party. We just come here, we knock on doors, and we get betrayed by the establishment.
I think it's important to say here, we respect people's opinions.
Right.
And it is definitely understandable that there is a lot of passion in this moment because the issues in this moment is.
I mean, it's like this is the part where they had gotten to the point where they're like, we cannot shut these people up, because they first tried to shut them up and that absolutely didn't work. Okay. So I'm gonna let this play a little bit.
The stakes are high.
The stakes are high and the issues are very important. And look, I can understand why people want to jump up and yell out their questions to these people who hope to lead the party. But
can you
You see this?
let's talk about the climate emergency.
By the way.
Hello.
Fair use.
Let's get to the climate emergency. Let's get to the climate emergency. Jen Psaki, excuse me. We're going to skip ahead. Jen Psaki's going to ask about the climate. We're going to go to climate. Let's go.
We'd like to ask some of these questions if you could just.
Okay. So, I mean, they had literally no control over this. I mean, it was just a hot mess. But I'll let you watch
Give
a little
us a
bit.
moment. Thank you.
yes.
Okay. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you all being here. I just want to restate. We want to hear your opinions. We're just asking the questions so you can all hear from these candidates and people at home can hear. Okay, let me start by asking a question more formally that someone asked.
Fair use. Mom was ready to go and tackle somebody. Y'all back this time.
Thank you all. Obviously, fundraising, as you all know, is a big part of the role of the Democratic National Party's chair. It's a very important part of the discussion we want to talk about. It's a challenge because it funds state parties, but also you have to make decisions about who you will take money from. So we'll be discussing that in just a moment. Just want to make sure everybody can hear at home. Okay.
Can you hear that?
Thank you. He made quite an exit. We'll give him that. Okay. Okay, let me start with this question on the fundraising front, because it was asked before.
Did you hear that part?
Items. I signed it, I believe.
Let me go. Oh, I went back too far.
Okay, let me start by asking a question more formally that someone asked. Thank you all. Obviously, fundraising, as you all know, is a big part of the role of the Democratic National Party's chair. It's a very important part of the discussion we want to talk about. It's a challenge because it funds state parties, but also you have to make decisions about who you will take money from. So we'll be discussing that in just a moment. Just want to make sure everybody can hear at home. Okay. Thank you. He made quite an exit. We'll give him that. Okay. Okay, let me start with this question on the fundraising front, because it was asked before, and again, we respect the passion. These are important questions, and we want to get to them as we said we would. Please raise your hand if you would be for supporting a ban on corporate PAC donations to the Democratic National Committee. Okay, and let's have a discussion about this. Mr. Martin, you said that there are a lot of good billionaires out there who have been with Democrats, who share our values, and we will take their money. But we're not taking money.
All right, so this might be what no, that's not it either. All right, I'm just
many issues that people are very passionate about, and we are.
I'm gonna stop sharing here. But you can check that out and watch it on your own. I don't want to play that whole thing, but that was pretty wild, and it was like that for a good portion. You know, of that whole segment. You know, through the interviews, there was a lot of things going back and forth, and someone made comments like, you know, this is the group that wants to defund the police, but then they needed the police there to manage the crowd. So yeah, it gets hypocritical, and it just, you know, it's just out of control. What else can I say? It's just out of control. So I guess my music is done, and I don't know. I guess these are just political updates for today. And also, like I said, to keep these people in our prayer. And I said in one of my videos last week that I was sending out, and I did. I sent out Reiki, you know, to the collective, because I said we need to cover ourselves. There needs to be a special hedge of protection around the collective in general. And I was thinking on the ground crashes, but I wasn't thinking crashes happening in the air. You know, we have all kinds of transportation going on. We have trains, we have planes, we have buses, we have tractor trailers out there. There's, you know, vehicles, regular passenger vehicles. So yeah, and I'm just going to double down with that. It's like we really need this protection around us. This woman, Kia Duggins, was at a I don't know what you would call it. She was at the pinnacle, almost, but not even quite there, of her career as a civil rights attorney. And I think she had tapped into something that some think, you know, um, caused her to be on this flight, just so happened to be on this flight when this flight, you know, was collided with by this Black Hawk. And so we don't know that. But she was spilling some tea. Let's put it that way. She was spilling some tea. And she wasn't like me. She's a civil rights attorney. So she was delving all into the peer review of her, you know, in her speeches and in her teachings and whatever else she was doing. She wasn't just saying it, she wasn't just asking for it. She was saying there's research here and it's peer reviewed. So maybe it touched home too much. I don't know. But we are in the age of Aquarius, I would say. I mean, some might say we're not quite there yet, but the energy is absolutely there. And it's volatile. I'm not going to lie. It is volatile energy. It is volatile. So stay safe. I'm going to continue to send Reiki out to the collective for safekeeping, for safe traveling, for just safety, period. You know, you can be walking down the street and this all I'm thinking is this passenger flight, if I'm correct, 5382, United Airlines. It was literally, they could see the runway where it could land. They were like right there. Do you know, and I know what it's like when you're on a plane, you're like, okay, you know, we just got to get to this landing. We got to hit that ground and we're good. And, you know, you're thinking, okay, you know, almost there. But nope. At that point, people are like, let me get my bags together. You know, did you gather your things? Let me put these things away. Let me buckle up, you know. You got to buckle up for the landing. As people ready to land, and they never did. So that's really it's just really, really, it's really sad. Actually, it's just very sad. Um, so that's it. That's all I have for you. Just bear in mind that the 14th Amendment is for foundational Black Americans. The Democratic Party is still struggling. They are highly struggling. They're doubling down on their messages, and it's just not working. It's not working. But you know what? I don't care that it's not working for them. I really don't. Um, and whatever I have to deal with, in terms of the tariffs and the prices go high, all you can say is, you've stockpiled as much as you can stockpile, maybe get some extra gas or something like that. Maybe pick up some extra fruits and vegetables that for the next few days, if the prices start jumping up really high, and it's a possibility that they will. I understand companies have also been stockpiling, and so they're, what I'm hearing is they got America's back, So yeah, we need to buckle up. We have to buckle up. But even last week when they were like, they took away Medicaid for a minute, Trump took away Medicaid for a minute, and then it was back. It's just like, you know, they kept Medicare, maybe took away Medicaid. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't, it's not bothering me. It's just, we've been hoodwinked and bamboozled for so long in such an egregious way that these little hiccups are nothing, because you know that it's on the road to change, real change. And I seriously look side-eye to the left, and their loyalty to America. I literally am looking side-eye towards them, because everything that they have done, they have doubled down on, despite the outcry of not just Americans, but specifically Black Americans. And I'm talking specifically in cities like Chicago, and they just ignore, like this Chicago mayor continues to double down and say he's going to, protect immigrants. Dude, who is paying you? Who's got your tail on the hook? I think his name is Brandon Johnson. And then you have, this was funny. I watched this video earlier. You have a bunch of TikTokers who are Black American. The ones I saw were Black American. There could be others, but talking about nobody's coming in to take their immigrant babies. Ladies, they're not your babies. That's number one. Number two, we understand that as a teacher, your heart is in your job. Yes, I get that. But the best thing you can do when those agents come rolling up in there for those children is to step aside. Unless you're just out here posturing like I'm big and bad. And that's, either way, you've lost credibility. But if you think you're going to step in front of any, ICE agents or federal agents and think they're not going to scoop your tail up and throw you in, Guantanamo Bay along with the rest of the immigrants, and you'll be sitting there rocking and crying like Sophia, as I said, then you are delusional. You're delusional. So, and maybe with this energy too is just showing like we're in all of our thinking, our psyche, our belief systems, our, conditioning, our behavior, our actions, that we are delusional, because all of this is being broken up, all of it. But no one's going to tell me, that I'm going to stand in front of some federal agent, to save the babies of immigrants who the children and their parents are taken away from my own family and my own lineage. Like what? Yeah. Yeah. It's just getting a little wild and crazy here. So all I could tell you is be safe. And all I could do is send out the energy for all of us to be safe. But if you are making decisions like that, then you've just made a decision. That's all I can say. And there's no helping and saving you. You have, you know, there you are. There you stand. And there you will be. And we're all making decisions every day. Every single day, we are in a position where we have to make a decision, whether to say something, to do something, to act a certain way, to not do anything, to abstain from speaking and acting, like whatever it is. Every day, all of us are making all of these decisions. And it's not like we weren't making decisions before. These are new decisions because this is a new day. This is a new day. So, and I'll bring it back to the Kabbalion. And this is directed at me as well as to everybody listening or anyone out there. With every truth, not with every truth, but every truth is a half truth. So we need to be mindful. Like even this is one of the reasons I had to learn. I used to be a really fast speaker. And I was always off the tongue. And first of all, that doesn't work when you get into public speaking. And second of all, when you're, trying not to preach to folks, and, you have to slow down and use strategic pauses. And, at this point, now I'm just trying to remember words like parachute. Because everything seems to be escaping my mind for some reason. I take fish oil pills every day, but apparently not the right ones. So I need to find the right fish oil to be taken. But yeah, so this is one of the reasons I slow down. And I try to measure my words, and I try to use the right word, because I was reminded, even in reading the Kabbalion, that with every truth there is a half truth. It is a half truth. And why is that? Because at any given moment or day or week or year, some new revelation may come up regarding that particular issue, or you gain some new perspective, or something gets added or taken away in an equation regarding that particular situation, fact, whatever it is. So at that point, your truth, your conviction, is challenged to be adjusted. That is why it's saying for every truth, not for every truth, but every truth is a half truth. So it's not that people are lying, when they come out and say, this is how I feel. The woman who got on TikTok, and she was genuinely crying, sad over the children that she watches over who are immigrants. And what does she do? And how does she handle this? And, that is her truth in that moment. But who's to say somewhere down the road, or she hears something, or overhears something, or she gets a different perspective on something, that could shift. Her truth could absolutely shift one way or the other. So, and that's for all of us. That's absolutely for all of us. So just hold on. Like I said yesterday, February is a bit of a strange month. It's kind of like a holding back of energies. There's a lot of page energy. In other words, like adolescent energy in there. Don't go full throttle. You know, I'm a king, I'm a queen, I'm an empress. I mean, it's not a whole lot of. There was two major arcanas in a 4-week spread. Two. One the first week, and then the last card of the last week in February. And that was the World card. And then the first week, it was the Death card. So the death is something is coming up this week. Something is ending this week. This week. So be tempered. And I think I told you that Page of Swords energy is very Sagittarian, very Sagittarian. And the card that rules Sagittarius is the Temperance card, though, in terms of the major arcana. So be temperate. You know, try to keep your balance. Try to maintain balance. Seek balance, you know, in everything. Be moderate, be temperate, seek balance. You know, and this, I think, will help, and stay grounded. This is going to help us, you know, traverse all this air energy, all this erratic energy, all of this unexpected energy that's coming up every day. Like, who thought on Wednesday that collision would happen, and then 2 days later, another plane goes down like a missile in the middle of a major metropolis? Who saw that coming? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So this is why the grounding is necessary. The temperance is necessary. Being moderate is necessary. You know, if you can go out and do a little more stockpiling before Tuesday, then do that if you feel it's necessary. I don't know, whatever you feel. You may be good for the next 6 years. Good for you. Like, congratulations. I know there are some stalkers, or what do you call it? Some preppers. There's some serious preppers out there. And so yeah. And these warnings have been coming. You need to prep. You need to prep. You need to prep. So here we are. Whatever we were able to do, whatever we were able to get by with, however much we've been able to prep, you know, this is where we are. So as for me, it's like, it's never enough. You know, I always feel like, because things go badly, and, you know, you can't even keep water forever and things like that. And one tip that one person said they do all the time is every night they fill up their bathtub with water, because you never know. You know, so that might be one thing you can add on to, you know, your daily whatever. Just a bathtub of water. That's nothing really but a shower, extra shower. So do that, or try that, you know, but always tap in with your intuition, you know, and test everything, you know, test everything, but be moderate, be temperate, because we're going to need it. So with that being said, I am going to sign off here. Peace, peace, peace to everyone. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful rest of your Sunday. It is still pretty early, 5:46 here. And yeah, reach out to me if you need any tarot, astrology, some Reiki. You know, this might be a good time for those of you who are starting to feel a little weird. This might be a good time to schedule some Reiki with me. So all you have to do is hit me up in the comments. What email am I using without dragging this on? I have a lot of emails. I'm not going to lie to you. I have a lot. You can email me at oraclewisdomintuitive@gmail.com. You can also email me at ReikiwithDeborah@gmail.com. And, you know, I have a third one, higherground911@gmail.com. So I have three options for you. Higherground911@gmail.com, ReikiwithDeborah@gmail.com. That's preferred if you're going to do Reiki with me. I prefer that. Or you can email me also at oraclewisdomintuitive@gmail.com. So for the Reiki, it's ReikiwithDeborah@gmail.com. Alrighty. All right, take care. Peace and blessings to you. And remember to continue to smile, and may your smile shine as bright as the beautiful star that you are. All right, peace, peace.